County is known for its fine wine, but it could also be known for its fine art. The first 2 weekends in October, during the Art Harvest Studio Tour, artists in Yamhill County open their studios to the public. Steve Tyree fabricates bronze sculpture in Amity. If you visit him on the tour, you'll see some fine art as well as some interesting tools. If asked, Steve will explain how he creates his fine sculpture.
I start with getting lots of photographs of the bird or the animals that I'm working on, and then I make clay models to learn the anatomy better, and then from the clay models I'll make a styrofoam pattern, take the paper pattern off of the styrofoam, and then trace that onto the bronze, cut it out and fold it up, weld it together and hammer it. Once I have it welded together and in the shape and the size that I want, then I could work over anvils like these, where I could hammer in and that'll be the finishing process. Then I could detail it with punches and a hammer, and also to get it a little softer, I'll heat it up with a torch. And then when I work on it, it's a little bit softer. Most of my work has been sold through galleries, but I'm starting to sell a little bit more direct, and I like that in that I get some feedback from the people of, what they like and what they don't like, and I could show them how I do it, and that's always interesting to most people, because it is different. Most bronze is cast, and this is being fabricated. They're kind of interested in that part. When I was growing up, I always had a love for birds and animals, and I did do a little taxidermy. I did some wood carving, whittling, and the sculpting was fun because I could do everything myself in my own shop, and then it was ready to sell after I was done, and I could actually kind of make a living at it. There was no foundry work, which is, that's where my advantage is I do the piece from beginning to end, and so there's no other artists involved in it, so I have control of it. And I think, people that want to get into fabricating, that's probably why they would want to, is because the control factor. And then I enjoy working direct. I enjoy, the physical part of it, hammering and cutting and welding, rather than just working in clay and then having the foundry do it. This is much more interesting to me, to actually bend the metal and weld it together and see it come together right in front of me. There's quite a few fabricators, but most of them don't do bronze. And then even the ones that do bronze, they don't really take it as far as I do in making a real modeled finished look. It's more angular and geometric shapes that they try for. Yeah, I try to bring out the animal spirit. I think my favorite part is, doing the heads, detailing it, but not always. Sometimes I get frustrated. Right now I'm working on some cougar heads, and I have 5 of them I'm working on at the same time, and that way I could kind of go back and forth and compare them and just kind of learn. When I get done with the pieces, usually after I grind them, they're kind of shiny like this, and I'll put a patina on them, just acid. I use ammonia sulfide just to oxidize it and make it look like it's going to look anyway. And because it will oxidize afterwards. So I just go ahead and start it, and so they usually end up being kind of a brown thing. If you're doing indoor work, you could use different patinas, different chemicals to get different colors. But if your work may be used outside, it's usually going to go black or brown anyway. And so I don't mess around too much with the patinas. When I make the big pieces, the scraps are small enough that I could make the little pieces with the scraps. And then after I get through with the little pieces, I just recycle the scrap. There's no waste. Each piece is going to be different. I think that's a plus in that it's an individual. It's not a reproduction. You know, there's just one of a kind, and it sometimes makes it a little more expensive. You know, that it is a one of a kind, but I think that's what a lot of people are looking for is a unique piece of art.